Welcome, fans, to episode 3 of Tiki-Talk. Just want to start off by saying we are overwhelmed and just so appreciative of all the support we've gotten so far from the Tiki-Talk community out there. We love you guys, and we got more to come. We do it for you guys. That being said, we're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're going to be coming out with more content every week, and you got to follow us on socials because you will not regret it. Tiki-Talk Pod, is that our
so
Tiki-Talk Pod?
You can find us at YouTube. Just search up Tiki-Talk Podcast. And then our Instagram is at Tiki-Talk_pod. And our TikTok is Tiki-Talk.pod. So follow us over there. And if you want to see your handsome hosts, go check out our YouTube where we post the visual podcast.
Yeah, the visual podcast is hype, okay? We're working with real camera equipment, okay? So if you're someone who doesn't like just listening, you need that visual, we got you.
We got
okay?
you.
We're there. On the football side of things, we're buzzing, okay? We got a great episode for you today. Lot to cover. Manchester Derby, some other great Premier League games. Crazy ending to Real Madrid. Lot of drama there. Gonna talk a bit about Champions League, and we got another top 5 draft for you coming right up. So let's get into it. Manchester Derby. Bam. Huge day for me as a City fan. Absolutely loved it. Ahmed here, on the other hand, gosh, I was watching with him. Kid was absolutely miserable. But lot to talk about, lot to unpack. So I'm going to throw it over to you, Ahmed.
So yeah, as Will mentioned, I was super sad over the weekend, or I guess after the match. I'm almost a little bit embarrassed to be wearing this kit for those watching the visual pod. Me and Will are donning our kits, but I said, you got to support your team through thick and thin. And I'm here. I'm representing us proudly. But if we're going to go to Sunday morning, we watched the game together. And going into this game, I had no expectations of us to even compete, honestly. As I said in the last pod, my prediction was a 3-1 City win, which was correct. But I did also say that I thought it was going to be 3-0, and then we get a consolation goal. So I'm going into this game with very little expectation. And then early on in the game, I believe it was the 7th minute, an absolute wonder goal from the man who's been in the papers, had some very fiery quotes after an interview he did with the Players Tribune. Marcus Rashford hits an absolute wonder strike outside the box, hits the crossbar, bounces in, and I lose my mind. I may have rubbed it in Will's face a little too early, but, you couldn't blame me, right?
I had to accept it. Just bar south.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was an absolute screamer. And absolutely silenced the crowd, too. It was so big because City just came out buzzing. They had, 5 chances instantly. And then the crowd was, the Etihad, they were loud. Shout out City fans, okay? Prove them wrong. I love it. But, man, that goal, my heart just dropped. I was like, wow. Did not see that coming at all. And
not at all. It was definitely against the run of play, even though it was so early. But, and then, when you see the goal and you see how he approached the whole game, but I think it worked well in the first half, was Ten Hag said, you know what, boys? We're playing dice ball. We're playing like vintage Burnley.
Oh yeah.
We are gonna walk into the Etihad. We don't need the ball. We know we can't outpossess you guys. We're not gonna beat you with the ball. So we'll let you have it. And whenever we have the opportunity, Onana is just gonna play a route one ball over the top.
Yeah.
Hope for one of the runners to get onto it, whether that's Rashford, whether that's Bruno, whether that's Garnacho, and then hope for something to happen from there. And that's exactly how Rashford's goal came. So, as a fan, of course, it's not the most fun football to watch, but against a team like City, with the injuries we have and with just the way our season's gone, I wasn't surprised with that approach.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Craig Burley said it perfectly at halftime, though. Like, it worked well for them in the first half because Rashford, just pulls out a wonder goal from nowhere. But, like, it wasn't sustainable. And even you were saying, like, even though we're up, like, I don't know, we're just not going to be able, like, City's always going to score. Yeah. No matter what happened, like, City's going to score. Like, you can't just go up a goal and park the bus for the rest of the game because they're going to get their goals. They always do. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I don't know. In a derby game like that, I would have liked to see a little more fight out of Man United. Yeah. But
I just feel like in a way this game was lost. I mean, this game was lost before it started.
Yeah.
And so I can't really be mad. It's weird. I'm not super mad at the performance because I just don't expect any better at this point.
Yeah.
Which is sad, but, like, we just don't have the players to compete. And it's when you see teams like Arsenal or Liverpool when they play against City, it's a much closer game. Like, both teams are getting chances. Even if City does usually dominate possession, like, it's going to be a fight on both ends. For us, it was just, like, we were praying that you guys wouldn't take your chances.
Oh, my God. And before the game, like, the predictions were like 6-0. Like it was crazy. Yeah. Like no one even had.
No one rates us.
No one rates you. No one rates you guys. Are very disrespected. I was like, okay.
And I told you I was a little angry. Like when I heard them say like 6-0. Like, like we've had results like that in the past. Yeah. I know, but I don't know. It's a Manchester derby. I don't respect teams thinking that we're just gonna get blown out all the time, especially. They did the same thing against Liverpool earlier in the season, and we might have got a draw at Anfield. So, like, we have pulled off results before, but in this game, it just wasn't going to happen. I just want to know, like, from your perspective, because you know me, I was so pessimistic through the whole game that even after we scored, I told Will, like, I can't be happy because I know that you guys are going to score at least one. We're not going to win this match. From your perspective, after Rashford scored, were you worried at all?
I was not worried until Haaland missed that chance because I was like, okay, like we're gonna be fine, we're gonna get a goal before half, and like we didn't seem nervous, and then like Haaland just misses maybe the easiest goal I've ever seen, which no one's gonna talk about because he ends up scoring, but after that I was really nervous because you guys hadn't lost a first half lead since like 2015.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, there's a stat that we've always been proud of since it was 2014-15 season. We lost to Leicester City after leading at half, and since then we had never lost a game that way. Since like if we went into a game leading at half, we would never lose until Sunday. The streak is broken, not surprisingly, but it's kind of a shame because it's been a record that we've kind of bragged about.
Something to cheer for in these dark days.
Yeah, there's becoming less and less to cheer for as a fan.
But yeah, after that Haaland miss, I like thought it was going to be a repeat of the Chelsea game, like where just one of those games where the chances just don't go in, and maybe we get a late goal to tie it. But gosh, I don't know. It was almost inevitable. Like United never really had a threat of scoring after that Rashford goal because it was just all the counters, and it was like, I mean, there were some chances, but like, I don't know, it was always like a missed cross or like someone took one too heavy of a touch, it was never like, you never made Ederson make some crazy save,
And you know who's a big reason of that happened? And we said it during the game. Kyle Walker,
dude.
Absolutely clamped Rashford. Apart from his goal, didn't do much in the game.
Didn't do much at all.
The rest of our attackers didn't do anything. But Kyle Walker, how old is he? 32.
He's in his 30s. I think he's maybe 33. Let's see.
He's in his 30s, and he is in he's probably the most in shape athlete in the Prem.
Yeah, he's a freak.
Like, he is insanely strong, insanely fast, tracks back. And, like, the way City play, you guys are in our half, like, deep in our half.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, we'll somehow get the ball and try to play that over-the-top ball to Rashford, and somehow Kyle Walker got there. There's that one chance, specific chance I remember, where I was like, Rashford's in. And then Kyle Walker just, like, came out of nowhere.
I know. And it's so unfair on a team like City where, like, you can just have that. You can keep your best players up the pitch and just have a guy like Kyle Walker who's going to track back against literally anyone.
He's like an insurance policy.
On that note, though, what did you think about the first goal where Rashford, the people were saying it might have been a foul?
I honestly don't think it was a foul.
Yeah.
I'm not angry at the... I think Rashford went down pretty easily.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't think I even made a complaint during the game. Like, I saw some fans angry about it, but I think we're just grasping at straws now. Like, we're looking for any reason to, I think we're just all in denial.
Yeah.
And even if say they disallowed that goal, you guys were going to score. Like, it wasn't, it didn't, I don't think it would have had any effect on the result of the game anyways, but... No, I don't think that was a foul at all.
It's a tough time for United, man. I mean, personally, I think a lot of it comes... to be fair, like, you guys have had injury troubles. You know, like, Lissandro, huge part of your guys' success last year, and he's just not been fit at all. Mason Mount also, like, you guys brought him in, you know, maybe take some pressure off Bruno in the midfield, and, like... He's been gone the entire season. But honestly, I don't know. I think Ten Hag does have to take some blame for some of his scouting decisions. Bringing in Antony was just... It's totally backfired in his face. I mean, he got in the game and, like, he literally looked like a deer in the headlights. Like, he just didn't know what to do out there. He's just not... I don't know if it's mental with him because...
I think it's completely just a matter of this guy does not know how to play football. He's not good at football. He's not fast, which is like... I feel like with Antony, it's almost like because he's a Brazilian winger.
Yeah.
That people have this expectation that he's going to be fast and skillful and...
He's got like 90 pace in FIFA.
That's like... If you watch him, at least with the ball, he's not fast. He is not skillful. He can only use his left foot. I've never seen a player so one-footed.
Yeah.
He's so predictable. And I think, like, if you're a fullback and you're defending Antony, you're happy because you just know, like, you know exactly what he's going to try to do. There's been times where we're on a counter and he has the ball and then he dribbles, and then he realizes he doesn't know what else to do, so he just turns around. Because he can't use his right foot. I've never seen someone like it.
You guys are in just such desperate need of a winger. Who do you think United should target in the summer?
Pedro Neto. I've said it a couple of times. If it's gonna be, because it looks like Martial's leaving.
Yeah.
Antony, there's already talks about him leaving. Pellistri still, I know he's on loan again. I'm not super high on him. I don't know if he's gonna be ready. Ahmad, I guess Ten Hag doesn't see much in him. He hasn't honestly impressed when he's come on. So we need wingers. I think Pedro Neto would be a great start.
I think that's would be a great fit for you guys.
I don't know if Sancho's probably gonna leave as well. So like we're gonna need a couple.
Yeah.
I don't know who else. No one else is really popping in mind right now. But yeah, Pedro Neto's definitely the top.
Neto, I think, would be a perfect fit in that team. Let us know, fans, what you think. Who should be the next United winger to replace Antony? Because he desperately needs to be replaced. He is literally a liability out there.
But I think this also all goes to show the difference in squad depth between the two teams.
Yes.
I just want to see the
100%.
substitutes that were made. You guys only made 2 subs.
Yeah.
Julian Alvarez, who would walk into our team.
Oh, my God. He would.
And Oscar Bob would also probably walk into our team at this point.
Yeah. Oscar Bob's better than Antony.
These are the substitutions we made. Willie Cambuala, this is probably his 3rd appearance in the Prem. Another academy guy, defender. Antony, who we know is useless and contributed absolutely nothing when he came on. Amari Forson, again, another academy guy who's being thrown into these games due to our lack of depth and injuries. And then Amrabat, who came on and had an absolute stinker, even though it was only the last 10 minutes of the game.
Oh, that turnover to Haaland.
He, gifted you guys another goal.
Yeah.
He saw Haaland's struggles earlier in the game. He's like, you know what, I'm going to help you out.
There's another poor scouting decision from Ten Hag, too. Bringing in Amrabat. He's been total flop for you guys.
So if we look at... I'm just going to try to remember them off the top of my head. Let's just do a quick game.
Yeah.
I'm going to name Ten Hag signings, and you're going to tell me if they're hit or miss.
Okay.
Off the top of my head. Malacia. I think when he plays, he's a hit, but he's injured. And we've heard nothing about his injury. He's been injured since...
I like Malacia, though. I think he's got promise. But I guess...
He's injured.
He's injured,
He's been injured all year.
So I guess you got to say flop.
I'm gonna say hit on Malacia.
I'm gonna say hit. Give it time. Give it time.
Okay, Lissandro hit.
Hit.
He's our best player.
Hit.
Christian Eriksen.
Miss.
I agree.
Miss. Complete miss.
He had a good first half of last season. I think since
his good days are long gone.
Casemiro.
I think miss.
Really?
Because I think last year he was good for you guys, and I think this year he's not.
He was injured for a while.
Not nearly the same level as he is.
I still think if we're gonna say who's our best midfield, he's in our best midfield.
Yeah.
I'll say hit, but it's still probably the same question marks we've had since we signed him. It was like, this is a short term fix?
I know.
What's gonna happen in 2 years when he's older? And I don't know.
I just think from the perspective of a scouting decision to make this a better club.
100%.
Total miss.
And the money we spent.
Yeah.
He wasn't a cheap signing. Who else did he sign? I think that was... And then Anthony.
Anthony missed. Undeniably
maybe the biggest miss in Man United history.
Hoyland hit, though. Hoyland hit. Come on.
Hit. Mount... IDK?
Yeah. We don't know exactly.
Miss as of now. I actually was excited about the Mount signing, so I hopefully... When he's back from injury, he gets some time.
But, what's with the injuries? Do you guys need to invest in, some ice baths, some cryo chambers? What is good? I swear this happens, every year.
Actually, last year we were pretty good on injuries apart from, Lissandro at the end of the season. But we hired Arsenal's, old doctor this summer.
Really?
He's coming in. Everything's gone to shambles.
Oh, God.
So I don't know.
It's an inside job.
He's an agent. But that is an issue with Ten Hag. His signings, for the most part, haven't been great, and that's something that I think will change now with the new ownership.
Yeah.
We're hiring. The reports are saying we're hiring Dan Answorth, or what's his name? Dan Answorth, I want to say.
That would be huge for you guys. He's the
Ashworth,
the Brighton guy.
He was at Brighton. Now then Newcastle hired him when they had the Saudi takeover, and now he's going to United. That's
scout linked to Brighton, guys.
No, so
he's got to be good at his job.
I think with the new project, we'll see a lot of changes in the way we approach transfers, scouting. But as of now, Ten Hag's signings have all, for the most part, haven't been great, and it's gonna be a stain on his reputation, and it's definitely gonna I'm sure this new ownership is using these last couple months of the season as almost a test on Ten Hag.
Yeah.
Is it worth keeping you? Or are we gonna get a new manager in the summer?
100%.
And as of now, it's not looking too good for him.
100%. Should we switch to the City side? Talk about little Man City here. First off, we got to start off by saying Phil Foden, what a performance. I mean, with De Bruyne in the lineup, too, this guy just comes in and he's like, I got next, bro. I'm the man. Yeah. He literally Paul Atreides that shit, bro.
Pep Guardiola said after the match that he's the best player in the league. He's playing like it.
He is. And he really is. I mean, his first goal, just beautiful touch, cuts inside. Varane is covering him, too. World-class center back. And just fucking beams it. Top corner, top bins. Oh, my God. It was so nice. And that was a time also where we were struggling to score. We were struggling to create chances. And he just pulls it out of nowhere. The kid from Stockport, man.
Stockport Iniesta.
Oh, and I loved when the camera cut to Southgate and you just see him in the crowd there he looked a little bit mad. He's like, God, I got to play this guy now over Stockport. But, dude, what a performance from him. Bagged 2 goals.
the most talented player in England. English
Oh my
player.
God, dude, he's
in terms of just potential.
Yeah.
It's him and Bellingham.
100%.
And
100%.
it's just like, I feel like you said it last episode, but we've seen it since he broke into the team, which was how many years ago now? 4? But there's always been that, like, oh, is he just a good player in a great team?
Yeah, exactly.
Will he ever, like, take the reins? And this season's, like, the first time you feel like he's, like, the man. Like,
he's the man.
He's, like, on that par with,
man.
like, De Bruyne, like, and Rodri in terms of importance to the team.
Yeah.
There was, like, times last season where he'd be coming off the bench.
And
now he's, like, an irreplaceable player.
Oh, my God. He's on the ball. He just is, like, insane.
He's one of the most fun players to watch, and I think if I was playing myself, I think I said this to you.
Yeah.
There's 2 players I'd love to play like.
Yeah.
Foden is one of them, and Maino's another. Like, just elegant,
just freaks.
Players that don't lose the ball, glide around the pitch.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was so awesome to see. Manchester kid in the derby just putting up an absolute performance.
It's 5 goals in 2 derbies at the Etihad in the last 2 seasons. He had a hat trick last year, 2 this season.
Dude.
Him and Holland just love to terrorize.
They love the derby. They love it. They both grew up with it. You know? So it's personal.
It is personal. I wish we took it a little more personal.
Yeah, I know, seriously. Another person I really want to talk about is Rodri.
I was just about to say.
Rodri is out of this world, dude. Like, he was just toying with you guys the whole game. Like, oh, like, someone come defend me. Whoop, nope.
Yeah.
Boom. Cross the field ball, like, perfect. Like, oh, my God. This guy doesn't lose the ball. And this is the craziest stat ever that I saw today. In his last 59 Premier League games that he's played, undefeated.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, undefeated.
Oh, so all the games you've lost, he was injured.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Ridiculous. Like, give this man his flowers. Like, this guy is another level. Probably the most important player to this Man City team.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Like, without Rodri, like, we are so much worse.
Yeah.
That's the crazy stat. I need to confirm that because, like, it's ridiculous. I think it's a record.
Comfortably the best player in his position in the world.
Yes.
Like,
comfortably.
by a mile. And it's funny because I completely forgot that he had 2 assists.
Yeah. Yeah, 59 consecutive matches. Breaks the record for most consecutive unbeaten
I wonder who
appearances.
The record was before him.
Let's see. I could see it being like Van Dijk. Surpassed Ricardo Carvalho.
That's probably when Mourinho just came
Yeah.
to Chelsea.
Wow. That's insane. Like, that just goes to show, like, I mean, there's just not a better stat to show how important he is as a player. But
he just does everything right.
Just does everything right. He's like Busquets out there, man.
Yeah.
Pep's just turning him into another Busquets.
He almost scored, too.
Yeah, he has an app. Oh, true. That volley, like, that was almost crazy. He makes stuff look so easy out there. That's another huge part of Rodri is, like, always scores big goals, too. Like, he's not just a good, like, holding midfielder. Like, he gets important. He's a big game player. What a performance from Rodri. Gosh, like, I have nothing. I don't know what else to say about him. There's nothing else to say. Like, he's just ridiculous. Like, I think most important player on Man City. 100%.
I agree.
100%. But yeah.
So what does this mean for the 2 teams? City, obviously, this is a title race. Whether you like it or not, like, the derby is something that will always be circled on City's schedule, on our schedule. But, like, in the title race, like, regardless if you're favorites coming in, you never know what's going to happen on a derby.
Yeah.
So, to get, like, such a comfortable win, at least it turned out to be comfortable, it's huge for the title race.
Says a lot about this City team, especially fighting through that adversity after that Rashford sniz and going out there in the second half and putting together an unbelievable half.
And one thing I love about, I don't want to say love, I say love very loosely, but I respect about City and Pep is that no matter what the situation is, how you guys are playing, if you're missing chances. Like,
Mhm.
it's similar to the first half.
Yeah.
You guys do not change your game plan for a second.
I know. It's
It's
I
like
love
you are
it.
so patient
Mhm.
and you have so much belief in your system and the way you're coached that we might be missing chances now, but we're going to score. And it's almost like when you see, like, okay, it's 1-0 United, you would feel that there'd almost be a bit of, like, pressure to score.
Yeah, like, oh, we got to get up the pitch.
We got to get up
you
there.
know?
City, the way they play, they'll pass. If they try to make an attack and they see there's nothing opening up, they'll pass it back and
Yeah.
recycle.
It's like they don't even care about the score. They just want to play great
football.
football.
They're just playing great football, and they know they're, like, so confident in the fact that they're going to score.
Yeah.
So
And that's that goes back to
respect.
exactly what you said on last week's episode, which was a problem with United, is
Yeah.
that they
don't
like
have that.
they don't have the identity. Like it's you never know what the strategy is. Whereas City, since Pep has got there, this is how we're gonna play. Like, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. Like, that's just how it's gonna be. Like, I don't know. Like, it seems like United is missing that.
I think what it is, I mean, Pep's been at City for some time now, but
Yeah.
in general, it's you have a style of play and you have players that match that style of play. And if you don't match
Yes.
the style of play, he'll get rid of you.
Mm-hmm.
For United, so we have a bunch of players that have different strengths and weaknesses, and Ten Hag's trying to adapt to what we have, and it's just not working.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
I hate talking about
Yeah.
it. It's so frustrating, but it's like, do we sign players that is it just going to be an issue of just transfers? Can you coach these players to play a certain way? I feel like they're all professional footballers. Like,
I know. To me,
just
like,
implement your identity. And
yeah.
people always talk about it. This goes back to our first two games of last season. Ten Hag came in the preseason and in the first two games of last season. I'm gonna play my Ajax the way I played at Ajax, and we lost 2-1 to Brighton at home, and then we lost 4-0 to Brentford away. And he said, "Okay, these guys are really bad at football. I can't do this. We're gonna play counterattacking. We're gonna just we're gonna grind out results." We got away with it last year. We got, I would say, lucky in a lot of games. We didn't have many injuries. Rashford had the season of his life, but the expectation, at least the hope from fans, was this offseason, last summer, Ten Hag's gonna take control. He's gonna implement his philosophy. We're gonna see a different style of play, bring in more players that maybe fit that style of play, get rid of players. None of that happened. I think partially his fault, partially the board's fault, because I don't think we got. I mean, how many transfers did we make? Not too many.
Not too many at all. And like there was no talks of you guys going out and getting, like, with all the big players that were out there, like rumors of them going to other teams. Like, you guys were not in the conversation with any of those players when like Harry Kane's on the market. Like, you guys should have been
bought him.
right there. Like,
I was so convinced we were gonna sign him.
oh, like that was like you guys had to jump on that. And I think it's really coming back to bite you. And to me, this past weekend just showed like how far Manchester United truly is from getting back to their old glory days. Like, getting top four is going to be really tough now.
Like, on top of that, Ten Hag said a quote after the match that actually made me kind of angry, and it was like, if you watch that game, even if you didn't know anything about football, if you watch that match, your eyes won't lie to you. There's no denying that City right now are miles above United in terms of everything football related. So Ten Hag after the match was trying to say that, no, we were pretty close to City. Did you see the FA Cup final last year? Like, quotes like that after a game like this are just so frustrating. And he's done it. He's done it a couple times this season where we'll play so bad and he'll have some quote where it's like, it just completely contradicts what we just watched.
I know,
like, are you trying to deceive us? I don't know.
I know, like,
there was some beef between him and Jamie Carragher, during the midweek. I don't know if you saw it. Jamie Carragher on, I believe it was Match of the Day, did an analysis of United's defending versus Fulham.
Really?
And if you saw it, it was like our attack, like the gap between our attack and our midfield was huge.
Wow.
or not even just attacking our defense. It was like the 6 people up top, like the midfield and the attackers, were pressing so high, and our defense were playing so low. So then if our press fails, which most of the time it does, it just leaves so much space for the other team.
I know, yeah.
So Jamie Carragher called that out, and then Ten Hag basically said that Carragher was wrong. But it's like, how is he wrong? He just showed you the evidence, and we see it as fans. It's not something that's, like, hard to see. And the results don't lie either. So
I know, and, like, that's not what United needs right now.
And it's not what the fans want to hear.
United needs a vision for the future, not like let's make excuses right now and, like, try and, like you were saying, grind out results. Like, that's not what the club needs at all. And it's just, like, that's... The goal differential just shows that, like, that's what they're...
-2?
That's the mindset. Like,
-2,
just grind out results. And it's like, no, we should be playing a style of football consistently. We should be trying to build something for the future. We should try and implement the Manchester United way and bring back that era of dominance.
You can't win the league without having a philosophy.
Yes, 100%.
So Ten Hag, it's been 2 years, we still haven't seen it. So at this point, I'm not gonna say I'm Ten Hag out.
Yeah. But, like, I mean, it's not like, I don't know. It's hard to make the argument.
Let's just say if he was sacked, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I want him sacked, but if he was sacked, I wouldn't be surprised, nor would I be mad.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of potential managers, I was reading that Ralph Rangnick, who was our interim manager when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sacked, is reportedly advising Ineos, the company that is handling the takeover.
Yeah.
And he advised them on getting Julian Nagelsmann.
Wow.
And I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, they know each other, right? From the Leipzig days.
And, I mean, he is someone that's a very successful director of football. So, like, if he's recommending him, he must see something in him. But he is a manager that, like, is known to have his philosophies. There's other question marks around him. His age, he's super young. Do superstar players respect him the same way they do respect an older manager? That's like, maybe superficial stuff. Yeah. But that was just something I read this week. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I also kind of thought he got booted out of Bayern in a sort of unfair way.
Yeah,
like
he won the league with them.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at how Tuchel's doing right now, like Nagels, they would be.
He's lost more games than
they should be getting on their knees begging for Nagelsmann back, bro. But I don't know, dude. That'd be interesting. I don't know who else would you like to see come in? Maybe an old head, former player. You think that? You would hate that?
We just tried that with Solskjaer.
Yeah, true.
Wayne Rooney.
Was Ole like? Ole wasn't like that bad though.
It wasn't his. The thing is, the criticism of Ole was the same thing, kind of. We didn't really have much of a style. People always said that, like, he would just tell the boys to go enjoy themselves. Mm-hmm. But honestly, we probably had more of a style of play under Ole than we've had under Ten Hag. Mm-hmm. At least with Ole, it was sit back and counterattack. We knew that was their style. Yeah. And in a lot of games it worked. I mean, I feel like there was a couple years there where we were, like, the only team that would beat you guys. Like, he had a great record against Pep. He won big games. We were really good away from home. It was just, like, in tournaments we would lose. Yeah. Like, we lost the Europa League final. We lost in the, I think it was FA Cup semifinal. So, I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's dark. It's a dark time to be a United fan. I think we've covered most of it, though. I think we can move on.
So, congratulations. That was the first Manchester derby of the Tiki-Talk.
I want to shake your hand.
So, moving on to other Premier League results. Another huge win in the title race is Liverpool's last-minute, last-gasp winner at Nottingham Forest to win 1-0. What were your feelings going in, seeing that it's the 95th, 96th, 97th minute? 0-0 still.
Dude, I was so mad. Oh my god. Like, oh my god, I was so mad. Especially because I had 1-1 draw in the predictions. So that I desperately needed points. Ahmed absolutely destroyed me this week. So I was like, come on, I'm making a comeback. We're going to pull out this draw. Of course, Liverpool gets a frickin' corner. Well, first of all, Forrest had, like, so many chances to win the game on the counterattack and, like, didn't convert. I was, like, so begging for them to just put one in, make it 1-0. Like, boom, I don't care if Liverpool comes back and draws. Like, put one. If Forrest could get a goal, like, it would have been so huge. And then, of course, like, right after Forrest, has one of these counterattacks, Liverpool go down. They win a corner. I'm like, bro, this can't happen. Like, there's absolutely no way. And then, okay, the corner doesn't go in. Forrest has the ball. And what do? Instead of booting it down the field and accepting the draw, they're like, oh, let's hold on to it. And I don't even know, what were they thinking? I don't know. It was so dumb. Frickin', okay, props to McAllister.
What a ball.
That ball was perfect. He absolutely just put in the most perfect ball. As soon as it was in the air, I was like, oh my God.
You just felt it, yeah.
Oh my God, like, this is going in. And then Darwin. I love Darwin, okay?
I do too, actually.
I actually love Darwin. I think he's so electric. And, like, the whole, like, people were so right. Like, you just had to give it time. And, like, I think he obviously still, like, misses a lot of chances. Yeah. He can only score difficult goals. It's like he hates a tap in. He's like, I don't even want the tap in. Like, give me a snooze. But props to Darwin Nunez, man. I mean, just having an unreal season for Liverpool, huge part of why they've been so good this year, and just an unreal moment for Liverpool fans. Klopp's last season, it was I might be buying into the Klopp magic after that game. Like, that was ridiculous. Like, I don't know how they pulled out that win. Like, they just did not deserve the 3 points at all in that game, and just somehow at the death. Oh, it was awful. I almost threw my phone.
If Liverpool win the league, that's going to be, like, the moment.
That's the moment. That's their Vincent Company.
Like, the last minute.
Yeah.
Every, like, championship team, or at least in close title races, kind of has that.
Yeah.
Those moments where Arsenal thought they had it last year a couple times.
Yeah.
But I guess even that wasn't enough. Just something kind of funny after the game was reports of the Nottingham Forest owner, Evangelos Marinakis, of him chasing the referee down the tunnel, screaming, respect the players, this happens every week, respect the players. And that was in response to, I believe, the referee stopped the game just before that attack Nottingham Forest, was on the attack, and Ibrahima Konate went down with a head injury, which required the referee to stop the match. And they were angry that after that, Liverpool had an uncontested drop ball, and then eventually were able to build that attack after. So, I don't know if that's... I can see why he'd be frustrated, but at the same time, Nottingham Forest could have just cleared the ball right there and it would have been game over.
I can't imagine, like, bro, like, being a Forest fan, like, you're already, like, they're fighting relegation right now. Like, they've been struggling all year. They've had so many games like this.
And recently, too.
Yeah. Like, they're, like, not that bad of a team. Like, they should be better. And, like, they just can't to get it done in the late minutes of the game. I can't even imagine being a Forest fan that game. Like, at home, you're absolutely buzzing against Liverpool, putting together an unreal performance, and you walk away with 0 points.
Last game before this was United in the FA Cup. Where we won on an 89th minute winner. A couple weeks ago, they lost 3-2 to Newcastle. Like, they've come close in games against good teams where it's just like they need that last little bit that it always seems to go against them. But I thought it was just kind of funny to, like, it's a crazy report to read.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's absurd. Should we move on, though?
Yeah.
All right, props to Liverpool. We got the title race on. Can't wait for next week. Gonna be fun. But next big game we're gonna talk about is Arsenal, another team that's in the title race, and like, oh my God, they really laid it on Sheffield, 6-0, and it was, I believe, it was 5-0 before half. So second half they were probably went out there. We're like, okay, I don't know, let's do whatever the fuck we want. But what were your takeaways from that game? I mean, there's not really much to say.
Yeah, I like sat down. I was like, you know what? Could it be the day? Because Arsenal have been smacking teams in the league this last couple weeks. And I'm thinking, could this be the week that like Sheffield, like the worst team in the league, they're at home. Could it just be one of those freak results, like a historical result?
Yeah.
And then I had some food ready. I sat down, and I think within 30 seconds of me taking a seat, Odegaard opened the scoring, and I was like, oh, it's going to be one of those games.
Bro.
And then they scored another 2 by the 15th minute, it was 3-0. And then, yeah, as you said, 5-0 at half. They were just, I think they said either the 14th or the 16th time that's ever happened where there's been 5 goals before half. And, like, it felt like it could have been 10.
Yeah.
Going into half. And then I do feel like they were a bit, I think they were just a bit comfortable in the second half, passing the ball around. They had some chances. Ben White obviously scored the 6th, but they were kind of, I think, taking it easy. But very interesting was Bukayo Saka and Martinelli coming off with injury.
Yeah.
I think Arteta said after the match that they were both kind of precautionary. I mean, Martinelli's looked a bit more serious. He was limping, but I don't know if that's expected to be long-term. I think Saka, he said, was more precautionary.
Yeah, I mean, you're up 5-0. Like, throw in some academy guys, But, okay, I'm going to drop a take that Sheffield United is the worst ever Premier League team I've ever seen. -50 goal difference. -50 is what they're at right now. They have 3 wins all year, and they were against Luton, Wolves. Okay, respect. Wolves is a good team. And then they squeaked out a 1-0 win against Brentford, who's another team that's having an awful season. So, and so many games where they've just been getting absolutely outclassed, just dominated on the pitch. I think they're the worst team I've ever seen in the Premier League. Like, every game I watch, it looks like it's going to be a blowout.
They've had the most games, most home losses by 5 goals or more for any team in Premier League history.
And one of those was against Burnley, who is another team that you could argue is the worst Premier League team ever.
It's insane.
Like,